Welcome to the Viral Cash Flow Secrets Podcast, your roadmap to unlocking viral trends and maximizing online profits. Join hosts Jenny Jackson, Lorraine Kamisha, and Jessica Jospix Digital from the Viral Profits Academy membership for actionable strategies on leveraging digital trends. It's time to monetize your clicks.
Oh, I thought I lost you. We're going to get this together. I'm going to get this together. So welcome to the Viral Cash Flow Podcast, your guide to decoding viral trends and transforming online buzz into cash flow. I'm your host, Jenny Jackson, joined by my co-host, Lorraine Kamisha, and Jessica Jospix Digital. So we're going to weigh in today on trending topics, as well as embed some tips to help you go viral and monetize. So what's the hot topic today, ladies?
Nelly and Ashanti.
Yes.
I had to clutch my pearls on that one.
Yes.
Well, excuse me.
So they spinning the block. They are spinning the block. We've seen it happen a couple of times, not so successfully recently with J-Lo and Benifer. What is it, Benifer?
Is it though? Because this is all speculation right now, I guess.
That's
Nothing
true.
legal has been filed. You know what I'm saying?
That's
true. I think a lot of these celebrities really know how to play into keeping themselves and their names out there in the media. I really do. And especially with the paparazzi, they show certain pictures based on what narrative they want to portray. Yeah. So I don't know. Until a divorce is filed, I ain't gonna even really take that seriously.
Well, we know Miss J-Lo know how to keep her name out there, so I would not be surprised if, this is their way of keeping their names in the tabloids, especially with that recently defunct Vegas show. So
right. Yeah,
right.
that was.
But I'm a little so where did you get this information? So Jenny broke it to me just literally moments ago.
So TMZ, let's talk about this really quick. Remember TMZ, God bless Kobe. That was a pivotal moment for them as a media company, because before then they were very much known as the gossip site. They were the first ones to actually break Kobe's death. And I think even before the family had really wanted to put it out. And I think that was a shift for them in terms of their credibility as a news source. So now we're waiting for TMZ to break a lot of these stories, and they were actually the first to break it, that Ashanti and Nelly have been married since December of 2023.
Right.
Yes.
So we can just share some of it's everywhere. It's blown up. Married for months.
Yes. And collecting their coins, right? We saw them do the pregnancy announcement. She was like 7 months, but they did the pregnancy announcement, and they partnered with a pregnancy test brand.
Right.
We've heard little drippings of them referring to each other as husbands and wife, or husband and wife. And then Jessica, you brought up recently the balloons for the Father's Day, tribute at one of the recent concerts. Yeah, it's a lesson for everyone, because people were giving Ashanti some flack. She let him split the block, but she didn't make him marry her. Checkmate.
Right.
Checkmate.
I mean, like Lorraine said before we started, that's why you need to mind your business, because you don't know what folks are doing behind the scenes. You only know what they show you. Yes, you don't know the rest of it. Well, good for her. Congratulations. That's dope. I like it. I like them together. I think they're cute together. One couple that I can't stand together is and they're not married. Oh my God, because Lorraine, you just posted them, and I was like, I like them together. They're starting to grow on me. What's that one?
Megan and Mr. MLK Jr.
Yes. Every time I look at them, I'm like,
yeah.
But you never know what's happening. I just feel like we are literally weeks, months away from him doing something to her. Hopefully it's not bad, but I don't know, for some reason and it might be that I'm putting his character on him, because he played Creed, that character he played in Creed, a little too well for me. Mm-hmm. So I was like,
Well, I mean, he was also in the news for a lot of allegations for,
yeah.
Violence and stuff like that. I believe didn't he end up getting acquitted? I'm not quite sure.
Something was dismissed, but there was still some kind of verdict, for some wrongdoing. So I don't think everything with him is clean either. I just don't think he's squeaky clean.
I don't. I really feel like, I don't know. But anyway, back to Nelly and Ashanti. I think they're cute together. I think they make a really great couple. And I mean, I think he kind of figured out, I hope he figured out that he missed out the first time around and that he's trying to clean up his act. And, you get older, you get wiser, you make better choices. So hopefully this is, him trying to make better choices in his life.
You like it, I love it. I just believe in second time around, just stand on business and do what you got to do. That's
at least she put him in check though, because during that whole versus thing, like when you saw them, you could tell she was like,
no, she didn't mean.
Stank face. She was not having it. Like, no.
He was like, she was like,
boy, stop. Boy, please, no.
So
I think you just get tired of just playing around. Like you just get tired of playing. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just got to take a step back and be like, no, that's not the direction that I want my life to head in. And if that's where you want to go, have, no love lost, do what you got to do, go in that direction. But I'm going to be over here. This is what it is.
But I love Ashanti too, because another thing that's come out, I guess in recent months, is she was actually in a long-term relationship with Joyner Lucas for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He spoke very highly of her. There was a video and I was like, oh, maybe it's just for the music video, but she keeps her stuff under wraps,
She does. She don't play.
She keeps a lot of her stuff under wraps, like business-wise. Then she's been like writing, producing, all kind of different things that we just don't really hear from her. She's been kind of like a silent, low-key, like collecting my coins type of vibe for a long time.
That's where I'm headed.
J-Lo.
Like, mom's the word for me. That's where I'm at. I'm like, but yeah, no, I didn't hurt, and the whole Joyner Lucas thing. I think he had shared that on what's his face's platform. Oh Lord, you blanked on people's name. But anyway, Jason Lee's platform. And I love that. That interview is a good interview, guys. So go watch that interview if you haven't watched it. To Jenny's point, he talks very highly of her and, all that good stuff. But I didn't even know who he was until that interview. And I was like, oh, he actually seems like a really solid guy. So at least she has really great taste in who she's selecting to, date and all that good stuff. And like you said, she's like silently just collecting her coins and minding her business and in her relationships. And like, look, you gonna marry me or what? You either gonna do this or you're not. and that's why, but it makes sense though now. Like I feel like it's like, oh, because she was smiling an awful lot. I mean, yes, you're pregnant, but
yeah, she's really happy.
She seemed very beaming, like she was just really in her element. And I was just like, oh, now that makes sense. Because when you're pregnant, sometimes you are miserable. You are not happy.
I think there's going to be a point proven here because from experience, I've seen that it don't matter which way you do it, people are going to talk. It has no bearing on which way you do it. So now that this is out of the way, tomorrow it's going to be something completely different. Like if you're trying to please other people in your relationship, that's your first wrong. You got to do things on your time, on your timetable, how you want to do them and what makes sense for you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely right. I agree. So how can we spin this and turn this into topics that we can talk about? I know how Lorraine can spin a couple of different ways.
I know.
I believe
I feel like Lorraine would take it and tear it up. Boy.
I just don't feel like it. So I'm gonna leave it alone. But we can talk about the whole baby mama culture and that whole thing. There's a lot of topics that I just can't wait till they're brought up. And they're very viral. As far as, we're having a lot of conversations, at least on my side of TikTok, about patriarchy and how things, move in that realm. And I'm seeing a lot of women that are having conversations about like, patriarchy and that and other, but on the other side of their neck, they're like, if he doesn't marry you in 6 months, then there's something wrong. And I'm like, like those, it doesn't really kind of match up if we're having these conversation about patriarchy and how it affects us and, toxicity that's associated with it and how, manipulative. And we've seen, conversations about, people changing their colors, in certain periods in relationships and the switch up and stuff like that. And those two conversations don't really come from the same place. So I'm just watching how the whole conversation about having children and marriage and relationships is just kind of unfolding, especially after that one girl, I can't think of her name right now, but she ended up going and getting, IVF and getting pregnant from a sperm bank. I mean, multimillionaire, can clearly take care of herself and a child. And yeah, there's a lot of backlash with that. How dare she be a single mother? But to be honest, a lot of us are single mothers, regardless of which way we go in the first place, whether we become single mothers because of, some tragic event, divorce, relationships breakup, or, we've even talked about the married single mother. So those are a lot of topics that are really hot right now that you can, just give your 2 cents on. I know on TikTok, I've started to kind of analyze which videos do better. And what I'm realizing is that videos where you are speaking your opinion to the camera itself do a lot better than voiceovers or trending sounds. They just do. So if you're going to touch any of these subjects, regardless of what side you're on, you're definitely going to find your tribe, and people are going to agree and disagree. But it's a good starting point to start off a lot of hot conversations.
I love it. I mean, I really do. And I always say that's why I love the internet, because you will find your tribe. I think a lot of times, depending on where you are geographically, socioeconomics, people that you're surrounded by may not always have the same views as you, but you get online, you can find your people. You're going to find your people.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry. I've been drumming up some dust on my side of the internet on Facebook this time for the last few days.
Yeah. What is it for you? That algorithm be working. That's all I know. It works.
It does.
Okay, yeah, Ebony Williams. Yeah, I saw that. So I hadn't read too deep into it. Did she decide that she was going to get a sperm donor and become pregnant, or she's already pregnant?
She's already pregnant by a sperm donor.
Oh, okay.
And the fire is that she's the same journalist that said like a year ago that she didn't want to date a bus driver, right? Like, she's not equally yoked with a bus driver. So then, of course, the podcast dudes are like, well, how dare you choose to be a single mom over going and dating, being with a bus driver? Because she has
how dare you become a single mom without us making you a single mom first?
Exactly.
How dare you?
Exactly.
We're supposed to that.
You made yourself a single mom? Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you know what? I think it's better than it was like back in the day. I think back in the day there was a bit of this, which we didn't have the internet, where people would just go out and find somebody in a bar and be like, hey,
Yeah.
let's go. You ain't got to have no other ties. See ya. So,
we're seeing that with the LGBTQ community. There's this gentleman, I forget his name. He's like Father Abraham. I think he's upstate New York, and the same-sex female couples use him as a sperm donor. Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah, I think it's like 150 kids at this point. Yeah, I know, because now he's like, oh, I'm going to retire in 2 years. That's what I said to Jessica. But yeah, there's an article about it. I'll have to find his name and we'll drop it.
Up here talking about Nick Cannon. I mean, granted,
no,
that's a topic of it itself. Did you see that headline talking about I want to give all of my children an opportunity
to meet
with.
So we have a meet and greet for kids now? Okay, it's different topic. Back to Nelly and Ashanti.
The opportunity to connect. And it goes to show like the double standard. Like this man, the conversation, especially from a lot of the male point of view that are for that situation with Nick Cannon, they're, well, he has the money to provide for all the kids, got 11 kids by 11 women, but on the same token, this woman has chosen to have one child and she is well off, and that is a problem. How dare she? That's disrespectful. There's even a TikTok guy, and I'll have to send y'all the link later, that ended up putting his foot in the mouth and had to take his foot back off of his mouth. Like, it's like the third time this man has had to take his foot off his mouth. I can't remember his name, but I'll send you guys the link. But I mean, he went completely off on her, and they end up having to turn back around and go in a different direction. But I think the double standard is amazing. Baby, you take care of the baby anyway. I'm gonna be spending the most time with the baby anyway. The baby is with me. Baby is with her. The baby is going to be with her. Nick Cannon can spread his seed all over the United States with 11 women, and he's a god, and that's, you know, that's just how it is and how it's supposed to be. And this very well-off woman is shamed for making this decision for herself. It's weird. It's very weird.
And I'm sorry, I know we talking about our friends Ashanti and Nelly, but Nick had the nerve. And early on, I was, you know, I'm a very impartial person, right? I try not to do too much judgment because we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. There have been some rumblings that Nick was, you know, having multiple kids because he has this terminal illness and he needs them as donors, right? And so that could be happening, right? That could be happening.
Crazy as hell, all in itself. Don't you think? That's crazy.
It shows who he is in a regard. However, he made a comment that on a recent podcast that, and I just feel like they set him up. It was him, DDG, F whatever, Hallie's, you know, new boo, baby father, and then our beautiful Lance, right, Chocolatey Lance, and they were asking, how do you care for your mate postpartum? And this fool had the nerve to say, oh, he's just there for them, just being present. How, Nick? How? So, you know, I feel that, and to your point again, Lorraine, I think some of this is to, you know, to cause, you know, media flare up. Like, I just can't believe that they would put those three in a room together and have this conversation without knowing that it's going to cause some type of, you know.
Well, they need one cute one. They need one that's going to drive the views, right? And then I don't know what Nick do. Nick just in the middle somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, he was going to drive the views because they know he was going to say something crazy. I mean, it's like
the crazy one. Yeah.
Mindset of, I'm gifting these women with babies. That's all I do is I'm there. My presence, my mere presence amongst these peasants.
And let's just put this out there. His presence is probably not even really his presence. It's probably virtual. He's probably like on FaceTime or something. Like, I mean, like, just FaceTime me if you need anything, you know.
I don't know. Where I come from, dads were like hands-on involved and did stuff. They didn't just, whoa, here I am for everybody to admire and revere and worship. And now daddy was in the trenches along with everybody else. So I don't, it's weird to me to see that. I don't know.
We gotta have a conversation about that.
Is Nelly like in the trenches? Do you think that Nelly's like
I don't know.
No, he is. So his first relationship was with a young lady, something Valentine. He has 2 kids with her. They were together 9 years. So this was probably like at the height of his success. And he moved on, and those kids have lived with him. We saw some of it on his reality TV show. They're grown kids now. They're in their 20s. So you know,
he has grown children now. Okay.
Yeah, he's got grown kids. And then I believe he adopted his sister's children because she passed away from, you know, a long-term illness. So he's in the trenches. I haven't heard any quote unquote baby mom or actually say that he's not an involved father.
Good. That's respectable. Good. I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is good. Like that. So yeah, I think Ashanti was just like, hey, listen, let me check the boxes. Let me make sure you know, is you gonna do this or what? Because I'm not trying to, you know.
And then at the time, she was young. Like you said, we mature at the time. That might not have been what she wanted. We don't know what going on close those. What's to say that Nelly was not like, hey, I want to get married and have some more kids? She was like,
Right.
I'm not really ready for that right now. You don't know. It's always
Wait a minute. Let's talk about her body, because I know she was probably like, "Wait a minute, you want to mess this up?" Like,
I mean, I don't know. I think she's gonna be better. I think she's gonna be better after.
you think she's gonna be better? Yeah, she has. Her body was
I
dangerous.
know her body was amazing. She had like the perfect, like, you know, you could tell that she's a solid girl, but all the curves is hitting where I was like, yeah, definitely body goals for me, definitely. Yeah, I think the baby's gonna do her good though.
And I mean, that is a true point. She was at the height of her career also. Let's not act like, you know, she wasn't turning out hits. Murder Inc. was riding high at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I know homeboy is sick right now. What's his name?
Irv, punch in the air.
Yeah, Irv is punching the air like a mug, like right now. You gonna go marry him?
You know he can't fight Nelly, so.
I don't think he want no smoke. I don't think
he gonna marry you if you already married, sir.
Very true. Very true.
Crazy.
All right. Well, that's Lorraine gave you guys a couple tips on ways you can take this and spin it. But you know what I find too is that when you do some content around the topics that we're talking about, those topics tend to come back up again and again and again, and you'll see your videos start to resurface. I did a video of Tupac. I think Tupac's birthday, like maybe 2 years ago or something. But Tupac's birthday just passed again. And my video resurfaced again. I was like, oh, it's coming back up on his birthday again. So I, got a couple coins from that. So I'm like, there's some science to all of this, you guys. There's really some science to this.
Yes, it is.
So if you utilize these trending topics and the keywords of the names of these folks, when they have things that are going on, your content will spring back up again. It puts you at the top of the algorithm again. So definitely pay close notice. Make sure you subscribe and send others to subscribe as well to the channel. And we'll be back again because we got several topics. I want to dive deeper into this whole baby thing. That's what I want to dive deeper into.
Lots to talk about. All right, guys. Thank you for joining the Viral Cash Flow podcast. Remember to subscribe, rate, and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. We will see you next time with the latest trending topic and show you how to turn your clicks into cash. Thank you for joining.